The chains of the past, let's rearrange. Yo, you know. So how do we move forward? Let's add something new. Together we can rise. Yeah, that's what we do. Don't get stuck in the past. Let the hate fall away. We're building the future. Let's seize the day. Can't you see? You bleeding all over the matrix. Caught in the hype. Man, it's all fake tricks. The medic's bag is empty. Y'all shit out of luck. Y'all better wake up before you get stuck. So here's the message, loud and clear. We got the power, let's shift the gear. No more dwelling, no more blame. It's time to rise up, let's change the game. So if you feel lost, just look to the sky. We're all in this together, let's reach for the high. Everyone can do it, just take a hand. Together we stand, united we land. So let's move forward, break down the walls. With love and respect, we'll answer the calls. No more hate, just the powerful proof. Together we can do it, yeah. Me and you, riders, let's show them how we ignite. Look in the mirror, tell me what do you see? A puppet on a string or a soul that's free? Break the chains, man, it's time to reclaim. Your life's not a game, don't let them play you lame. Stand up, rise up, let your voice be heard. No more silent screams, it's time to spread the word. Riders, let's ignite. Yeah, the world's a stage, but you ain't just the role. Find your truth, let it shine. Yeah, that's the goal. No more fighting over colors, it's unity we need. Plant the seed of change, watch the future succeed. So damn, y'all, stop acting like you're lost. Break the mold, it's time to pay the calls. Heal the wounds, let the real flow. Step out the matrix, man. Let your true self grow. Don't let this digital world, flatline. It's just a little food for thought. Yeah, we living in a world where the rules don't apply. They say we gotta follow, but we ready to fly. System got us boxed in, trying to keep us small. But we rise like the phoenix, we ain't scared to brawl. They feeding us lies, but we see through the smoke. We're the voice of the people, we're ready to provoke. They want us to divide, but we're stronger as one. Breaking chains, taking names, yeah, we getting it done. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. It's in the air, yeah, we taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here. Riders ignite. In the world of division, they showed us how to share. But the weight of our sorrows, they never taught us to bear. We split our joys and laughter, but the pain remained untold. A burden we carry alone, a story left untold. They taught us to split everything, but not the heavy pain. It lingers in the shadows, a darkness we can't explain. We're left with shattered pieces, trying to admit what's lost. They taught us how to split everything, but not the heavy cost. We learned to divide our dreams and multiply our fears, but the ache in our hearts only grew with passing years. They gave us all the answers, except how to heal. The scars that run so deep means the time can't see. Yeah, they taught us how to share, but only the good. Smiles and laughter like we understood, but deep down inside there's a storm we hide. Pain in our hearts, we're just trying to ride. Put on a mask, yeah, we play the part, but nobody sees the cracks in the hearts. We share our dreams, the highs and the lows, but when it comes to hurt, we just close the doors. We share the fun times, deflect the pain, laughing in the sunshine, dancing in the rain. But the shadows linger, they creep and they crawl, breaking us down, but we don't share it all. We got hate in our hearts, but we keep concealed. Taught to share the joy, but wounds, they stay unhealed. They say love was easy to divide, but the heartache never subsides. We try to split everything into two, but the pain lingers strong and true. Shared our dreams, divided our fears, but the sorrow remained through the years. No matter how we tried to let go, the weight of our suffering continued to grow. Now we're apart trying to heal, but some wounds are too deep to conceal. They said splitting up will set us free, yet the pain lingers in you and me. In a world where rules are set in stone, the system's grip tightens, we're not alone. Bound by chains of injustice greed, against the odds we fight to be free. Mighty forces try to keep us down, but our spirits rise, refusing to drown. Defying norms, breaking through the mold. In this battle of wills, our story is told. As the clash continues day by day, we stand united, come what may. For in this world where rules don't apply, our strength and unity will never die. They try to silence our dreams, but we're loud and clear. With every step forward, conquering fear. They can't hold us back. We're the fire and the flame in this battle for freedom. We're all in the game. They say it's just a game, but we're playing for keeps. With the strength of the many, we're shattered elites. No more puppets on strings, we're cutting the ties. With our eyes on the prize, we're reaching for the skies. So let's stand together, let's break down the walls. In this fight for our future, we'll answer the calls. From the ashes, we'll rise like a storm. Riders ignite. It's us versus the system, and we're ready to fight. They building walls, but we're digging tunnels. With every step we take, we're shaking the bundles. From the streets to the courts, we're raising our voice. In a world full of noise, we're making the choice. They want to keep us blind, but we see the light. Knowledge is power, and we're ready to fight. From the corners of the city to the halls of the state, where the heartbeat of the struggle can't afford to wait. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. It's in the air, yeah, we're taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here. Riders ignite. They taught us to split everything, but not the heavy pain. It lingers in the shadows, a darkness we can't explain. We're left with shattered pieces, trying to mend what's lost. They taught us how to split everything, but not the heavy cost. Now we stand here broken, searching for some light, hoping for a way out of this never-ending night. But through it all, we find strength in each other's embrace. Together we'll face tomorrow and find solace in this space. They say don't bring the drama, keep it all light. But every night I'm fighting these demons in sight. Whispers in my mind, yeah, they echo when they shout. While I'm smiling on the surface, I'm breaking without. We're sharing the laughter, but what's underneath? A battlefield of sorrow, a war with no peace. We're warriors in silence, but nobody knows how the pain that we carry just grows and it grows. In a world of lessons learned, they taught us how to stand and burn. But the scars we hide deep inside are the ones that never subside. We followed all the rules they made, but the emptiness never fades. Their wounds like knives, cutting through leaving wounds that always grew. They painted pictures of success, but couldn't fix what's left from us. Now we're left to bear the strain of the pain that lingers, never wanes. It's us versus the system, we're breaking the mold. That's in the air, yeah, we're taking control. No more silence, no more fear. Together we rise, let them know we're here. Riders ignite. So remember this moment, remember this face, remember this sound. We're the voice of the future, and we won't back down. In the face of oppression, we'll stand up tall. It's us versus the system. In this world of blame and shame. All right, y'all. Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble day. Continue to have a blessed and humble afternoon. It's y'all, Shorty Racheal. Let me welcome all of y'all to the Writers for Life brings you the Let's Talk About It podcast. All right. My bad, I was doing a little something. But let me give a big shout out to all my subscribers, my old subscribers, my new subscribers, man. Listen, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that share the videos, like the videos, and much more, man. Listen, we get in there, all right? But, listen, there's a lot going on, all right? We're going to have another episode of My Chest and Into the Mic. Listen, I'm going to drop the link in a little bit for anybody that wishes to come up, chop it up, get something off their chest. All right, I'm going to be speaking, all right, on a few things, all right? I do know that we're going to start off with the Nicki Minaj situation. Listen, man, everybody's talking about the Nicki Minaj, right? My DMs is full. TikTok is going viral, all right? There's a lot going on. Me personally, man, I spoke a little bit earlier when I did the little walk along, all right, on the Nicki Minaj situation. And then we're going to go right into, what's happening here in Philly, all right? So there's issues going on between Meatball, all right, and Dr. Umar's daughter, Nisa, all right. So apparently Meatball is telling Umar to come get his daughter. Listen, that's going to, laying into the topic of mental health. It is a lot going on, right, with mental health. I want to remind y'all, right, I want to remind a lot of y'all that we have a lot of loved ones that suffer from mental health, and we have to check on them. So we're going to touch into the Dr. Umar and his daughter situation and the Meatball drama that's going on here in Philly. All right. Before we get into all that, man, let me give a big shout out to Answer. All right, because it's another topic I want to speak on, right, that involves parenting. Right. We started off speaking on that. That's what made me hop on the Answers panel yesterday. All right, because they were speaking on parenting and much more.
So big shout out to him, and I did a coach stream with him, but it went kind of a little left, so I had to put it on the members only. So if y'all want to watch that, that live, all right, it had a little drama in it, so it is in the members only. So y'all make sure, listen, become members. The option is down there. I appreciate all the support. Appreciate those that have been members. All right. But the option is down there. That's one way to support a shorty, yo. Another thing that we got coming is the website. All right. I got the website down and popping, but the problem is, for some reason, right, I got to connect the store to the YouTube. I got the website connected. YouTube and the website is connected. But I think I haven't published the merchandise, and I got to fix the shipping and handling. So pretty soon we're going to have the Writers for Life merchandise, all right? That's coming soon. Let me see. Do I have a picture of it up here? I think we do. Yep. Oh, no, that's the background. I don't want that. So I don't think I have it. I was trying to show it, but I don't think we have the picture of it up here. I have to re-upload some shit. All right. So let's start off with what's going on with Nicki Minaj. All right, I got a video right here. Let me see. Yep, a video that was sent to my DM. I'm not sure who this YouTube channel is. It's DRM News and DWS News. I guess it's a collaboration. All right. So we got the full interview. All right, we're gonna check that out real quick. All right, we're gonna skim. Well, I don't think we can skim through it. All right, it's kind of like an interview that Nicki Minaj did with Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's wife, and everybody wants an opinion about this. What's crazy is though, right? Those of us that do give an opinion, I feel as though a lot of people, what's crazy, right? It's going to get mad all up in their feelings, right? They ask for opinions, but when people say something, right? But how can I say our opinion, our narrative don't fit their narrative or don't fit their opinions? People get mad. But guess what? We still gonna talk about it, all right? Because people got two options: stay mad, get on mad. Real shit, all right? Everyone has an opinion. Opinions are like assholes on some real shit. But let me get off of this stream right here. And listen, I'm going to just say this, all right? Me, personally, I don't care for Nicki Minaj, all right? But the message that she is giving, right, because I've seen the clips and stuff, the message that Nicki is giving is factual, all right? I'm not going to sit here and lie. But, right, in my opinion, right, from how I perceive things, how I see things, I feel as though, y'all can correct me. Maybe I could be wrong, right? I feel as though, right, people don't want to hear the message or don't care about hearing, the message from Nicki Minaj because you know who Nicki Minaj is, right? They're more worried about the messenger than the message. So a lot of people is not really gripping what she's saying. And what she's saying, even from the clips I've heard, is factual. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Just because I don't rock with her, right? I don't fucks with her, don't mean that I'm going to sit here, oh, wait, look, what she's saying is not true. Just bash her and everything. Listen, everybody knows the reason why I don't like her, right? And I don't rock with her. One, and it's really just one. Nicki Minaj is, a predator cuddler, right? She has a tendency of covering, right, and sugarcoating these predators, sugarcoating what they do. So me personally, right, I don't fucks with her. But it doesn't take away that what she's saying, right, is actually happening. Maybe if somebody else would have, how can I say, put the message out there, right, and went hard on it, people would have listened. But coming from her, right, I've heard a lot of people, in which I'm not going to sit here and deny. I agree with them, right? Nicki Minaj says she's Christian, she's this, but she's doing all of that, right? But then it's like I tell people, right? A lot of people call themselves Christians, Pentecostals, Muslims, but they don't practice what they preach. And Nicki Minaj is no different, right? Me, I just personally don't rocks with her, right? It's not because of what her religion is. Listen, there's a lot of people that are Christians. They go to church on Sundays, right? And they drink from Monday to Friday. All right. But according to their religion, they're not supposed to be drinking, smoking, fornicating. They're not supposed to be, how can I say, having kids out of wedlock, all this shit. But they still do it. They go against their religion. And I've seen a lot of people actually practice their religion. They be like, no, man, look, listen, I'm not going to do this because my religion says this, and that, and I'm going to go buy it. And what's crazy is they practice that shit. But a lot of people, man, okay, I get it. But it doesn't take away the fact that what she's saying is true. All right, guys? For real, for real. So let's see why she got so much backlash, right? And listen, man, before we get started, happy holidays to all of you out there. I don't celebrate the holidays. Listen, my kids got what they want. All right, I asked them what they wanted. They got it. I'm here. I'm falling back. Listen, shout out to Jack Daniels. All right, we sponsor Jack Daniels. All right, y'all know that's my go-to. I don't drink every day, but I definitely put 2 shots in my little smoothie. That's what I've been sipping on for a minute. All right, I was just watching the takeover. And listen, before we get started on this Nicki Minaj shit, man, listen, I stopped saying what I was saying earlier. Why I did that, I don't know. Right? I was on the answers panel yesterday. Man, my daughter, my eyebrows look like they're not there. And it's all that stuff that she put on me. But listen, all right, I was on the answers panel yesterday and we had a great conversation before it went left, right? We was talking about parenting, rearing our kids, right? Shout out to Leon on that channel, on that panel, on the answers panel. All right. He says something that I noticed that a lot of men, all right, when they come and they speak about their kids, right, they have a heart. I don't know if it's they get embarrassed or what, but I don't think a man should feel ashamed or embarrassed, right, or feel some type of way, right, because they have a bond with their daughter. If your daughter comes up to you and she feels comfortable, talking to you as a father, right, about her relationships, about her sex life and stuff like that, that's a good thing. That means that your daughter feels comfortable with you, that she trusts you. The problem is that we live in a society where everybody's head is on the gutter. All right, they have not sexually matured. Everything that we talk about, somehow, some way ends up in a sex conversation. You can't even see the word balls without somebody even thinking that as a man's private parts. All right. I mean, I can go deeper into that, but hey, that's a topic for another day. But I want to get into that in a little bit. All right. And it's going to lead, that conversation is going to end up, we're going to end up leading into that conversation once we get talking, we start talking about Dr. Umar's daughter. But I want to get the damn, I got tongue twisted for a second. I want to get the Nicki Minaj, topic out the way. Right. I'm getting asked so many questions and I want to see what is, so much the hype. What's the hype? Why is everybody so worried about what Nicki Minaj had to say unless, y'all going to sit here, right, and actually find a way and figure out how y'all going to help the Christians that are going through what they're going through, where they at. So 1 second, guys. Oh, no, I'm not trying to share the screen. Here we go. I mean, yes, I'm trying to share the screen. I'm not trying to share the link right now. Here we go. Full discussion, Nicki Minaj. Boom. Am I on the right channel? No, we gotta go on the premium. Screw that, because people have a tendency. All these freaking ads. No. I hate ads, yo, and they be playing ads like crazy, yo.
Than this.
I have to read these tweets because they're amazing and they are so funny. Okay, first one, we'll do this one. Unless you want to read it in your own voice, I think it'd be really great. Okay.
Oh, Gavi Poo, it only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love.
What's this?
Get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind. It'll make you happier than this race that you will not win. Enjoy life. Peace.
Ooh. I don't know who they're talking to. Okay, what is it supposed to be about?
One more.
Why not? Imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Haha, not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. not Gav, the Gav nots. Gav not in, Gav out. Send in the next guy, I'm bored.
What are they reading?
I love it. So I'm just gonna let you riff. Like, I want you to say whatever you want to say to Mr. Newsom.
Dear Newscum,
This joint is good.
we don't have a problem cleaning up the scum if we have to.
Ooh.
Please tread lightly. That's what I would say to Gavy Poo.
So with
Nikki
regard
roasting
to
today.
the current administration, what has been maybe the biggest surprise for you, or something that you just really has been put on your heart that you've learned about our president and our vice president?
Well,
Hold on. Before she says anything, is this what's got y'all really mad with Nikki, or because of what she's saying about Christianity? Is it that she flip-flopped? I mean, first she was Republican, I think. She went Democrat real quick, right? When she was doing the shit with Kamala and all that. And then she went back to Republican. I mean, people flip-flop too, man. That's why I say, man, red or the blue, man, I feel as though people fighting for crumbs. They both the same. I'm hoping that's not why people is over here getting all, their panties all in a bunch of shit like that.
I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win, and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact.
Oh my God.
He's from Queens, New York, like me. So, but what it's shown me personally is sometimes, even in the worst feeling times in your life, you think that you're never going to come back from it, but you do. And our president shows that. He's been through every single thing a person could be through publicly. Having to constantly be lied on. It's not really that funny. Until you are in that person's shoes that's being lied on, you'll never understand what it feels like. That person is a human being. They have a family who has to read those lies. And that's not, and it's just not fair. But this administration is full of people with heart and soul.
Oh my God.
And they make me proud of them. Our vice president, he makes me, well, I love both of them, but they're both powerful men, smart, strong, all of that, but both of them have a very uncanny ability to be someone that you relate to.
Who's she talking about? J.D. Vance and Trump?
Relate to them. When I hear them speak, I know that they're one of us. Like, I know that they're not. Don't you guys agree? They haven't lost touch of the world. They're still connected to the world and what's happening in the world, with the younger people and older people, with the richer people and not so rich people. They have the ability to still connect and be real and make us feel proud to be American.
Flip that.
So why now have you been involved with speaking about politics? What was kind of the turning point for you? Yeah.
What was the turning point? Well, I just got tired of being pushed around. Yeah. Sometimes you just get tired of it, and then you realize, wait a minute, I have something inside of me that's stronger than what's out there. That's right. So,
I mean, ain't both parties using her, Democrats and Republicans, though, on some real shit? But she need the money. I mean, it's work. I don't know. This could be just business for her.
when you've had enough, you realize, wait a minute, why do I even care about these people and what they think? Who are they? They don't even know who they are. So I'm not going to back down anymore. I'm not going to back down ever again.
Amen.
Yeah, back down. So at one point she let them run her. Like basically, like, you know, step all over her. And basically she's saying she's not gonna let nobody step all over. Man, but listen, unless you're doing this on your own, right, then I'll believe it. But the message that she's giving about what's happening with the Christians and all that, man, I feel as though why? I mean, just because she, you know, listen, people are paying attention to the messenger and not the message. It shouldn't matter who the message comes from, right? Y'all say y'all believe in God, right? What if God was using Nikki for the message at that moment? Nikki has a big following. So at the end of the day, look, listen, man, I pay attention to the message, not the messenger, and what she was saying, right? From the clips that I have seen, we haven't gotten there yet, right? From the clips I have seen that, you know, people have clipped up. I mean, maybe it should have been another celebrity. You see where I'm coming from? But hey, it was Nicki Minaj who decided to talk about it.
Can the students in the room raise your hand? Wow. This question is for you guys. So you guys are very courageous and bold on your campus. Nikki, I know our students feel this way, but why do you think speaking your mind has become so controversial?
Because people no longer are using their minds, their brains. So right now, just imagine we're not allowed to have a different opinion anymore. We're not allowed to think out loud anymore. We're not this is not what the world used to feel like. And especially for the young people, I don't want them growing up in a world where they feel like that. I mean, they deserve for their voices to be heard. They have valid feelings and they're thinking about things, and it deserves attention. You know,
I mean, could Nicki Minaj be telling y'all that she's trying to take a different direction? She don't want to sit here and twerk no more. She don't want to do none of that stuff. And maybe she want to take the Christian route, want to take her religion a little more serious. I mean, I don't know. People come so fast and they want to point fingers and judge somebody like quickly without even thinking like maybe she wants to take a different route. I don't know. All right. At the end of the day, we know the world is a stage, all right, and everything we see is an illusion. But hey, that's a topic for another day too.
We should listen to what they're saying. And if you're growing up in a world that tells you it's taboo to say something that the masses don't agree with, that's not okay. And we're not gonna have it. And I love this. You know, it's giving the younger people confidence that they will need later on in life. You guys will need it, and you will have it. So,
I mean, at least she's trying to.
I'm rooting for you.
Amen. Amen.
At least she's trying to motivate the younger crowd. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and lie.
Again, Charlie would always say, it really does not take skill to be courageous. It takes a choice. It takes a decision. And I want to say again, thank you for coming and being courageous and being able to share your heart with us. And the reason why that also holds true sentiment-wise is because I know that you are getting a lot of backlash from your own industry. What is your reaction to that?
I didn't notice.
Oh shit.
Amen.
Out of sight, out of
I
mind.
feel the same way. When people are like, what do you think about them? I'm like, I don't think about them.
Bingo. We don't even think about them.
We don't have time to. We're too busy building, right?
Yeah, we're the cool kids.
Okay.
The other people, they're the ones who are still just disgruntled, but really they're just disgruntled with themselves. They are angry with themselves, you guys. So you can't wake up and think about somebody who is determined to just stay mad.
What?
I literally tell them, stay mad.
Amen.
Stay mad. Because we're going to stay joyful,
Yep.
and peaceful and iconic and smart.
Yes.
And we're going to stay thinkers. In a world that doesn't want us to think, we will think.
Like her a hater, she's not spreading hate, she's not disputing violence or none of that. I mean, and I can't sit here and say I don't agree with her. I don't like her, but I agree with what she's saying. As crazy as it sounds, all right? Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean that that person is not spitting some facts, all right?
By ourselves, on our own, we will continue to think.
Okay, is y'all done? Let me fast forward this on a little bit.
Her heart.
See, now I missed the question.
I want to know what inspired you to speak out for the Christians that are being slaughtered in Nigeria.
Okay, so this the part right here where she's getting so much oh my god, lashback for him. All right, so I'm gonna hear it. All right, calmly with no interruptions. I'm gonna stay quiet. All right, then I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna give my commentary. All right, y'all know normally I be pausing when it's not my videos and stuff like that. You have to do that, but right now I'm gonna take a risk. I gotta hear what they're saying in order for me to give an honest opinion. All right, not just a how can I say a 35-second clip, not a 1-minute clip. All right, I'm going to hear the full how can I say conversation and see why so many people got their panties on a bunch. If you don't like her, you don't like her. Fine. All right, I don't like her, but I'm not going to sit here and bash her. People know the reason why. All right, I don't support people that support predators. But the message that she's giving doesn't mean that listen. The more shine you give her, right? Then you're promoting it. But hey, people don't understand. Listen, there's a reason that saying is out there, out of sight, out of mind. You don't want to give someone support, don't give it to them. But when you're sharing videos, right, commenting and saying this and saying that, you're supporting one way or another, whether it's good support, bad support. See where I'm coming from? Me personally, the message that she's about to give is my biggest interest right now. So let me really actually hear her. Not clipped up, but the full version.
Well, and that brings me back to our great president and this administration and our great country. That we take for granted that there right now in this world are people who cannot worship God as they please, where they please. We take it for granted because we have it. We can't even imagine not having that right. But every time we pray and fellowship, we have to remember the people that are right now in this world hiding to pray and fellowship. And we have to pray for them. And first of all, Nigeria is a place I've always loved. Someone very dear to me, my pastor, is Nigerian. I have lots of Nigerian barbs. And so hearing that people are being kidnapped, and while they're in church, people are being kidnapped, people are being killed, brutalized.
Yeah,
all because of their religion.
and that's fucked
And
up.
that should spark outrage in the great America. And that's what it did. And again, we're not backing down anymore. We are not going to be silenced by the bullies anymore, okay? Know that. Hear that. Receive that, bullies. We won't be silenced ever again. We will speak up for Christians wherever they are in this world. Amen.
Amen. I don't know if you can see this at home, but she is getting a ton of standing ovations.
I love you guys so much. Thank you guys.
She said, I don't know if you can see this at home, but she's getting a whole bunch of stand-up ovations. Then they started standing up. But before she said that, they were sitting down. I can't. It's like she kind of told the crowd what to do. All right, let's keep going. What else you got to say?
So going along that thread, can you tell us about your relationship with God? Because I think a lot of us want to hear.
Sure. Well, my relationship with God started, well, when I was a toddler in Trinidad. My grandmother, if things got spicy in the house, like if the kids and grandkids were arguing or fighting, she would make all the little kids go in her room and make us say and say a prayer. So later on in my life, well, not much later, when I was like 10, 11, 12, I started going to church in New York. And it changed everything. It changed my life for the better because I was going every week. I was hearing the word of God be preached. And then I was going home and I was applying it to my life. Even as a little girl, I learned how to pray very early. I always had this faith that made people think, you know, the kind of faith that you think a person is crazy, like, oh, please, like, you know. But I had that faith instinctively once I started hearing about God and, you know, just getting more into the Bible. I got baptized when I was about, yep, amen. I got baptized when I was about 13. I got baptized. And I have just always applied those teachings to my life. I try to. And that's the thing. We're not perfect. We try. Sometimes I would wake up and feel so far removed from not God, but from fellowship. You know, I was like, oh my God, I used to go to church on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday every week, like literally 3 days out of the week. And then later on in your life, you become busy and you start thinking, oh, well, you know, God is in my heart. And, you know, but then sometimes you can be in an industry as well that pulls you away even more. So lately, I've been feeling like, you know, like if you haven't seen a long lost best friend for a long time and then you bump into them again, that's how it's been feeling for me. Like just going back to God and praying and talking to him. And, you know, and he said to me, where were you? Where have you been? I've been waiting on you. And since that moment that God had that conversation with me, I've been in such a better space because now it's just, I'm thinking about, is God pleased with this? Not if the bullies and uglies are pleased, but if God is pleased. And when you have that personal relationship with God, guess what? Even in school, he's there. Wherever you are and whenever you need it, you have something that you can tap into immediately. It's immediate. You don't have to leave a message. He's not going to call you back. He's there immediately. As soon
God
as you
is in
call
you.
on him.
I mean, God is in you. I mean, listen, she has her own belief. All right. I'm going to pause it right here because this is a 32-minute video. Y'all want to go check it out? Y'all can. All right. But this is what I can say. All right. She has her own beliefs. All right. It seems like she's been a Christian since, since yay high. All right. So who is we to tell her, well, she can't say she's a Christian or, hey, listen, she says how can I say she distanced herself from, going to church a little bit. And that's because of the path that she chose. She chose to be a celebrity. You see where I'm coming from? A rapper. I think a little after that, she was making little movies and stuff like that. Well, she was popping up in certain movies. But she's been rapping for a good minute already. That's the path that she chose. I mean, listen, every rapper believes in what they believe in. The same way that we believe in what we believe in. You could believe in whatever God you believe in. You see where I'm coming from? And who am I to judge you? Me, personally, I believe in God. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't have a religion. Right? I see the Bible as a God. I can't sit here and say God to judge anybody. You see where I'm coming from? The creator, the actual creator? No. But one thing I can sit here and tell you is that the answers that you're seeking for are within you. All right. God is within you. Let me see. I think this is the best way that I could say it, right? I think the poem that I did with the word.
Religious faith and give that energy away so they can.
And that's some real shit, man. Shout out to the word. All right. If y'all have not checked out the word, make sure y'all go check him out. Great conversations, great topics. All right. Listen, he'll sit here and break it down like you were in kindergarten. And that's some real shit right there, man. We was taught to look for God outside of us instead of looking within us. And that's why a lot of us, fail. Like, you see where I'm coming from? That's another thing. We got to finish the video, all right, with Billy Carson, I think is his name, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So we're going to do the second part to that video probably tomorrow. All right. Because I know a lot of people be celebrating Christmas. So, hey, listen, man, I'm going to go live. I don't celebrate Christmas. So hopefully, we get some people to, hit the panel and give their perspectives tomorrow. But yeah, man, I'm about to touch on the topic right now that's going on here in Philadelphia. All right, we talk about mental health a lot. All right, and I don't know if a lot of y'all know who Dr. Umar is. All right, but apparently Dr. Umar, I guess I'm gonna say some. I'm an influencer famous. I don't even know how to put it on some real shit. All right. But, a lot of people know him for being a psychiatrist or psychologist, whatever he is, all right? He was supposed to start this school, all right? I've given my opinion, on Umar, all right? But that's not what we're doing today, right? The last time I spoke on Dr. Umar's daughter, right, I said, he as a father, right, should come and, try to get her attention and get her some type of help, right? Problem is that, Nisa, I think is her name, is like 25, no, wait, she's not even 25. She's like 23 probably around there. If I'm not mistaken, right? If I'm not mistaken. And it seems like the last time I said it seems like she's suffering from some type of mental health, right? On the video that I have, right, she has admitted to having ADHD, but what else does she have? She could have PTSD too. You see where I'm coming from? She could be suffering from anxiety, but I think it's a little deeper than ADHD. All right. I mean, she could be autistic on some real shit and hasn't been even diagnosed. All right. And for those of y'all that are wondering, yes. All right. An autistic child could behave like a regular child. It's called Asperger's autism. Right. And there's different tiers to it. The lowest tier to it, all right, you can't even tell, all right, unless you're having like a conversation with the person, all right. And it seems from the way she behaves, All right. The way she carries herself online, and I see that she be trying to hold it back. She could probably have some type of autism or something else there. All right. I'm not sure. She could suffer from schizophrenia. I'm not sure. All right. She could be bipolar. I'm not sure. But one thing I can sit here and tell you is that she has not received any type of help, right? From the mom, from the dad. And I feel as though, right, when she was younger is when they needed to put, that discipline in. Now she's in her 20s, a grown ass woman. She can do whatever the hell she wants, right? But I did say it. She needs some type of help. She has to want it, though. All right. For those of y'all saying, well, Umar has to do this. Umar better get, even if Umar wanted to, all right, because I don't even know if he doesn't want to, or if he does want to, I'm not, in his life to sit here and say, well, this is what he wants to do. I sure as hell don't live in his brain. All right. I'm not a genie in a bottle. All right. I don't got telekinesis, and none of that shit. All right. So I can't see inside people's heads. But, all right, if he wanted to, even if he wanted to, right, come and do something for his daughter, she would have to want to receive the help from her dad. You see where I'm coming from? But people don't seem to understand that part yet. Once a child hits 18, no matter what a parent does, all right, and it's crazy because until they're 21, they're still needed. But Nisa's past 21. She's like 23 already, if I'm not mistaken. But Umar can't force her to do nothing unless she wants it. And especially with the way the HIPAA law is. All right. 13-year-olds can make decisions if they want to have mental health, receive any type of mental health services. It's not even up to the parents no more. So if a 13-year-old, right, says, well, I feel as though I don't need therapy or a psychiatrist and none of that, counseling or any of that, all right, they can get away with that shit. Blessings. We got my OG in the building. All right. Flying Galantine 22. All right. Shout out to Ronin 22. Make sure y'all go check him out. Great conversations, great topics. Hello from Arizona. Are you getting ready for the Civil War when the lights go out? OMG. Am I getting ready? I mean, listen, we all should be ready for if anything happens, right? I mean, on some real shit. Whether it was a civil war, whether it was the grid going down, no matter what the situation is, right? It's something that deep and severe. We all should already be ready. We should all learn how to turn on, make a campfire, learn how to cook on top of a fire, all right? Learn how to, do things that we normally don't do. Like, shit, I have to learn how to get adjusted to taking cold showers because I'm used to taking hot showers. I cannot take a shower if it's not hot. So, me personally, I have to adjust my body to getting into cold water because what if, shit does go down? You see where I'm coming from? Thomas Williams. Oh, blessings. Shout out to, you know what? My bad. And I was supposed to put this up here, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate y'all support, man. I enjoy y'all support. I enjoy y'all conversations. I love the fact that we can have conversations like this without it going disrespectful. But yeah, on some real shit, like I feel as though we all need to be ready. But a lot of people not ready. Listen, I was just telling my baby pops not so long ago. I said, look, listen, we're going to get a deep freezer. And it's crazy because when everything goes off, we can't have a deep freezer. But I want to start teaching my kids how to, budget and manage, how to make food last. So I'm going to start prepping meals and stuff like that, put them in the freezer whenever they get hungry. It's something you can pull out. All right, I'm going to teach them how to do things. I'm going to teach them how to, get out there on the grill, start cooking food on the grill. Right. A lot of people think that the grill, you can only make meats, right? But I'm going to also teach them how to, start a little fire outside without, burning the neighborhood down, just in case they want to, make not just meats, but they want to make some rice outside. They want to make some beans. They want to make certain different things, right? Because on top of a campfire, you can cook anything. Blessings. We got Miss April Showers in the building, yo, for real. That's a fact. We haven't talked in a while. That's why I had to look and I was like, yo, shout out to Thomas on some real shit. Thomas Williams. I haven't seen you in a while. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. And that's why I say, look, listen, I love having conversations like this, all right? Because listen, each one teach one. We all learn something from each other, all right, every day. And by the way, happy holidays to those out there that do celebrate the holidays, all right? Like I said, I'm doing this live because I don't celebrate the holidays, all right? Like, I'm hoping y'all enjoy y'all holidays. My kids got what they wanted. All right. We do not celebrate that. They wanted some gifts. All right. So I'm gonna let them, I'm not gonna shut them down because I don't celebrate. They still kids. They gonna want. All right. But I'm also teaching them, look, listen, this is not what's important. All right. Like the same thing I do for Mother's Day and Father's Day. All right. Like it's okay to have fun and enjoy that day. You see where I'm coming from? If y'all want to do it. For me personally, I feel as though, right, we should celebrate our parents every single day. Every day. We should not wait one day out of a year to celebrate our parents. Thanksgiving, we should be grateful for what we got every single day, not just once a year. Hey, but people don't want to hear that, all right? A lot of people love the pagan holidays. So let me back off a little bit, all right? And not, get it, have people get all in their, egos and emotions real quick. Been trolling all day, yo, out of breath. Fresh air, right? Fresh air. Yo, I need and daily red sugar, salt, medicine, and meditation. Immunization. Things that will last on the shelf, nothing refrigerated. Facts, facts, facts. And that's another thing with prepping, all right? It also teaches my kids how to store food, all right? Listen, I'm teaching them how to, right now I'm about to start gripping up a whole bunch of onions, garlic and stuff like that. I'm gonna teach them how to make homemade onion powder, garlic powder, how to mix it up, different types of seasonings. All right, we're gonna grab different things, and then I'm gonna teach them how to store these things. All right, I'm gonna teach them how to store the vegetables, the fruits. And you was correct. All right, we gotta also do the canned goods and all that, because at the end of the day, when the refrigerator goes out, all we're stuck with is canned goods. So Thomas Williams is speaking some facts. That's a fact. People don't even know the real history behind Valentine's Day on some real shit. He said, I'm good on the pagan money making holidays, yo. I'm dead. I mean, shit, you get paid on them days, yo. And he said, Valentine's Day massacre. We celebrate that for Valentine's. This world is backwards. That's a fact, man. On the day they massacred all our ancestors, right? We're supposed to be sitting here saying we're grateful and thankful. But you know what? Hey, like I said, some people still, gotta do, cheers to y'all, right? Happy holidays. Like I said today, man, y'all know I don't drink, but I drink on special occasions, all right? All right, we sponsoring over here for free. We're promoting. We promoting. All right, Jack Daniels. I only had 2 shots, shit. That's because I'm not a drinker. I'm gonna be feeling this. All right. So shout out to Jack Daniels, man. I had to put them 2 shots on my peach mango smoothie, yo. This joint is popping. I've been sipping on this since I started the live. I ain't lying. I'm chilling. But yeah, back on topic, right? Listen, mental health is really, really serious, all right? Like a lot of y'all know, I went heavy, right? Really hard on mental health a few years back. It first started off with, my son's situation. Then when my brother passed away, right? He suffered from schizophrenia and stuff like that. Then he got catfished. He ended up, taking his own life in California. I mean, listen, a lot of people know my story, all right? A lot of y'all been with me throughout my journey, throughout these past, how can I say, 7 years, all right, that I've been going live. This is my second channel, all right? And I appreciate those that have been rocking out, all right, with me and supporting me. Listen, man, y'all been with me through a lot, through thick and thin. Y'all seen a lot that I've been through, all right? And I'm the perfect example, all right, that no matter what comes your way, all right, you could overcome anything. 2 years ago, they was telling me there was a 90% chance of me being paralyzed, all right, if I didn't take it easy, that I couldn't go back to work. 2 years passed and I'm working again. They told me I couldn't work out. I couldn't do none of that. All I could do was go to chiropractor, get massages on my back, and there was a possibility of me getting surgery. But if I did the surgery, I could end up being bedbound. What? Nah, man, I'm good, man. I fought and I said, I'm going to do this shit the natural way. And look at me here today. I got to lose a little bit of weight because, for the past couple of months, my baby boss has been spoiling the shit out of me. So I got to lose this fat with me, okay? I got a turkey neck. Y'all see that shit, man? I got turkey arms, man, for real, for real. I'm out here looking like a turkey, gobble, gobble. Yes, the story of Valentine's is a crazy story. I think we might go. I mean, if y'all want, man, we can go down. I'll schedule it. It won't be for today. I might, what we in? Shit, yeah, man. I think I'm gonna schedule it for 2 months. In 2 months, we're gonna do a Valentine's, rabbit hole dive on some real shit. That'll be the perfect day on February. I mean, the perfect time on February, right? And it's crazy. Just in a few days, we're gonna be in a whole nother New Year's, a whole nother New Year. And I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, wait, look, listen, this is my resolution," because can't none of us really keep our resolutions. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. All right, we all say we're gonna do this next year, and sometimes, some way, somehow, when we say what we're gonna do, we end up repeating the same shit we say we wasn't gonna do. I don't know. But let's get into the story, all right? Now, y'all know that the last time I reviewed and reacted to Nisa, Dr. Umar's daughter, I said it. I said she looks like she suffers from some type of mental health. What it is, I'm not sure, all right? But it's obvious. It's there. You can see it. I don't think she's acting for the cameras. In the very beginning, I thought she was, but then I had to really look like she's not just, listen, the way she's on camera, she's like that in real life. I've talked to a lot of people, right, that's around me that know the Shorty, and I'm sitting here like, there's no way in hell. And in real life, right, the Shorty acts and behaves like this. In real life, it seems, right, but I'm not there. All this that I'm saying is allegedly, right? But in real life, it seems that the Shorty does house hop. And I feel as though the way she's behaving is from unhealed trauma, all right? She hasn't gotten any type of counseling, right? And it's not just on Umar. The mom was raising her. All right. I'm not placing all the blame on Umar. See, listen, I don't know the man from a can of paint. Y'all don't like him for whatever reasons. Y'all don't like him. All right. I've given my opinion on Umar, and I'm not going to keep repeating myself. All right. But at the end of the day, when it comes to parenting, all right, it takes two. And we wasn't there when the shit popped off. That's a good idea. No, I have not. And you know something? Thomas Wilson just gave me a good idea. I think I'm gonna do that live. I think I'm gonna do a live on Black Wall Street, but I'm not gonna do it by myself. A baby pop should be coming in an hour, and I think I'm gonna schedule that. We should be doing that one of these. I think if we don't do it this weekend, we might do it next weekend, and I might do the Black Wall Street and relationship. Well, I'm gonna put controversial conversations because listen, when it comes to politics, listen, he could really get into that. So I think we definitely about to do a live on that. All right. So baby daddy, I know you in the bushes. Listen, we gotta schedule that live. All right. We definitely gotta, co-host. So whatever you got going on one of these 2 weekends coming up, all right, whether it's next weekend or the one after that, all right, you gotta let go of Saturday. You're all mine. A Saturday night, all right, from I'm gonna say from 9 o'clock at night to 12. All right, you're mine. You're kidnapped. You got to do a podcast with me. All right, we're gonna be talking about Black Wall Street. All right, let me see. Was it? Yeah, Black Wall Street. And what is it? Or when they boomed that apartment complex looking for some black folks. It was in Philadelphia. Hey, that's why I said he's the perfect person to do that with, yo. He is the perfect person. So I'm definitely, because he's from Philly too, all right? And he knows a lot more of the history of Philadelphia. He's seen a lot more stuff in Philadelphia than I have, all right? So listen, he was, born in Philadelphia too, all right? I was raised in Philadelphia. I wasn't born in Philadelphia. Thank you. The same to y'all. The same to you, Thomas Wilson. The same goes to you, all right? But listen, here in Philadelphia, man, a lot of shit be going down. But let me show y'all this video real quick, all right? Let me get into the video, all right? I'm on the wrong.
Everyone's gearing up for the holidays in a Chevy of their choice. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
No, fuck it. We're going to do the video.
The bespoke.
Listen, I don't want to deal with the ads, yo.
She what? She be trolling who? Hey, yo, ain't no. Yeah, you be talking.
All right. So listen, a lot of y'all might not know who Meatball is, but Meatball is the girl that was involved in the riots here in Philadelphia when was it when the pandemic happened or after the pandemic? Yeah, but she was the shorty that was involved in the riots, right? She's supposed to be an influencer. All right. I remember the first time I did a live on Meatball, I was lost, confused. I'm like, wait a minute, if she's supposed to be an influencer, what in the world is going on? Right? But apparently, Meatball, right, and Nisa are beefing. All right, Meatball is tired, all right, of whatever is going on with Nisa. All right, she's telling Umar to come get his daughter because she's suffering from some type of mental health. Did she do this the right way? I'm not so sure. What I do know is that she got Dr. Umar's daughter, right, snapping and clapping back. This shit be wild, all right? Like, she does need help. But I want to remind y'all once again, if she does not want to receive the help, especially due to the age, all right, due to her age, she's not going to get it because they're not going to give it to her. She has to want this voluntarily. And that's the only way that's going to work, right? She has to want to receive it.
She what? She be trolling who? Hey, yo, ain't no. Yeah, you be talking all that, right? Trolling, right? Trying to be like me, boy. Outside with no shoes on. Why you be trolling? I'ma get her. If you are a true fan and you really like me and you really F with me, y'all, listen. Everybody tag Dr. Umar so he could come get his daughter out of Philly because seriously.
Never did I. Listen, Thomas, I didn't know who she was until the riots. So I don't blame you. I didn't know who she was until them riots, until she got arrested, until all that. Like, I think they were stealing from the stores, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's what they were doing. They were stealing from them stores. So that's how she became really, really famous. Before that, I don't think a lot of people knew who Meatball was. But according to the news media, she was she was a famous influencer here in Philly. But if that was true, a lot of us would have known who she was. Right? Because if you're a famous influencer in Philly, people in Philadelphia should know who you are. See where I'm coming from? Like, hey, listen, in Philadelphia, you can't tell nobody. I mean, we're talking about, like, right here, it's a celebrity, but what was I going to say? Kevin Hart is a celebrity, but shit, everybody know who Kevin Hart, Will Smith, right? Eve, Pink. Celebrities, yeah. I mean, listen, if you're real famous from Philly, then people will know you. I don't think she was really famous because then everybody in Philly would know her. I mean, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. If you feel like, Philadelphia is the worst shithole in America, that's on you. I don't feel like it. I love my city, but the people in it, boy, I'm telling you, the people in my city make you want to wake up, right? They make you wake up like you Homer Simpson. All right, choking bark. I'm gonna keep saying that forever. All right, because I feel as though it's not the city, it's the people in it. But hey, that's your opinion. That's how you feel, and I'm not here to change your mind or make you feel otherwise. But let's hear what they gotta say. Mental health is serious.
She really needs help. And I'm reaching out to the biggest worldwide. Dr. Umar, we need you, Dr. Umar. You got your kid running in Philly, going house hopping and friend to friend, lying on people, making up captions and comments. Dr. Umar Johnson, please come help your daughter. For real, seriously.
Nisa, as much as you worried about me, you need to be worrying about y'all kid. Simple. She's got a kid? I didn't think she had a kid. Is she talking to Umar there? Nisa. See, because she's like, it's like she's talking to Umar's daughter, but then never mind.
I'm gonna tell you some real shit. My whole thing is I'm a genuine. When I help my, I do that shit from the heart. I don't ask.
This is Nisa's daughter right here. I mean, this is Umar's daughter right here.
So for somebody to play in my face, and then you use me, cause I have a public day. You used me. You knew you was gonna make some money off that. So now I'm gonna make some money off your name, and I'm gonna see if you like it or not. Don't ever play with me. I'm nice. I'm Nurse Nisa. I'm nice Nisa. But when Nisa feel played with and disrespected, now I'm gonna take it there with you. Don't ever play with me. Ain't nothing. I got God on my side, so it ain't nothing to me. Literally, I don't like none of y'all. Y'all be so mad, bro. I never not once went against that girl. Every time somebody tried to say some weird shit, I was like, no, that's not her, bro. Cause she a good person. It's just like I feel like she could improve on some shit. And sometimes motherfuckers need tough love. Cause when I was a little ass girl and motherfuckers used to be like, Nisa, you too nice and shit, I used to start crying because it's like I knew I was sweet and kind and shit like that. But it's like when motherfuckers be telling you like, Nisa, stop, you too and nice, and then you feel like you can't change that about yourself because you just so full of love, and then you meet motherfuckers and just snatch that away from you. Like, you not about to take away from me? Is you cool? That's really how I feel. Nobody gonna make me feel wrong about shit because I stand on everything I say, because I'm a real ass and I'm not a leader like half of the city.
Yo, she's gonna be switching up in a little bit. Y'all gonna see like the different sides of her. It says on here, never laugh at people when they down. If nobody ever try to help you or help you improve, they do not love you. That's her quote, I guess.
Eaters, all y'all, yeah, y'all all eaters, and I said what I said. Now check me. And then this my whole thing, right? Y'all let motherfuckers do grimy ass shit to y'all and post it. A kiki kaka. I don't like being extorted. I don't like when the motherfuckers laugh in my face and then put that shit on the internet. You a for the socials ass bitch, and I said what I said. That's how I actually feel. That's how I actually feel. So at the end of the day, y'all gonna feel however the fuck y'all feel. I don't give a fuck. But I said what the fuck I said. End of story. Why do y'all bitches record motherfuckers that you know is homeless? They going through some shit and you just record it. I don't like when people do that. That's called extortion. Don't extort me. Don't use me for money, because then when I clap back, now everybody, whoa, Nisa, what? I don't give a.
See, that's what I'm saying. And I've seen a lot of her videos that get posted. And one thing I could sit here and say, she does all the posting. I mean, people do the reviews and reactions, right? And she pops up on people's streams. So it's kind of like, that's why I say, like, I don't know, sometimes I get a hint of schizophrenia. All right. Mental health issues is present, but she has to want to get the help. Can't nobody force her.
I really don't. I don't care. God know my heart. I don't care though. God know my heart. Again, he know my heart. And another thing, I'm fasting for 3 days and I don't even put that shit on the internet, but I'm gonna tell you something, right? When you clap back at a motherfucker and you from a city of dick eaters where motherfuckers just dicky because they got all that fucking dick in their mouth and all they do is suck dick, excuse my language, that's what they gonna do. So I just might have the whole city in the uproar because I don't like being extorted. And that's really how I feel from the heart. And I let motherfuckers slide and shit like that. Motherfuckers be having secret animosity, and then when they get mad at you, they do shit. Bitch, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I said what I said. And I'm gonna be off the internet. I'm gonna let y'all talk for a good 3 days because I'm gonna be, you feel me, praying and stuff like that. I'm gonna be praying for the world. We need world peace. That's what we really need. We need happiness, world peace. That's the two things that I'm praying for that we really, really need. I wish the city could really come together. The city is so fucking divided. How about the city just come together on one thing?
I mean, listen, the apple don't fall far from the tree.
Black people can never come together. That shit is sad. My whole thing is, if I'm saying some real shit and you go against me, you a fake ass bitch. Everything I say out my mouth makes sense. It be the dumb bitches that say retarded shit that try to be like, kiki, ka.
What the fuck? Wait a minute.
So you just laughed at them and you don't even know what you just laughed at. You just laughing because you a dick eater. Okay. This is one thing nobody could.
I just laugh, so I guess that makes me a dick eater. Shit. I mean, I don't know. I just like that shit. She was like, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Wait a minute. She was trying to be Pennywise for a second. I couldn't help but laugh. See, shit, don't do stuff on social media. Let's take it serious. I'm sorry. Yo, wait a minute, yo. This is crazy. Listen, this is what people gotta realize. If you come out, the same energy you put out here on social media is the same energy you're gonna get back. That's why I say, look, listen, I don't come on this John. I don't have a beef. I don't come on this John to have a beef channel, a drama channel, none of that. All right, we could talk. This isn't a debate channel, none of that. Let's have conversations. Let's bring solutions to the table that matter. All right. There's people out there that's going to believe that, we can't make a change or a difference within our communities. And there's people out here that's proven that we can. You see where I'm coming from? It's like a yin and yang out here. All right. We just have to learn how to embrace our differences. That's it.
To bully me about. I never been a fighter, bro, in my life. See, y'all bitches so fake. Y'all gonna get on the internet and say, oh, I never got beat the fuck up, knowing damn well you got beat up down the projects. But you get on the shit in line and act like you ain't get beat down. Like, we all got beat down, bro. Mentally, physically, emotionally, bitch. You got beat down before. It might not be physically, but bitch, you got beat down before. Y'all bitches not real. Y'all get on here and be like, oh, well, I won every fight. God know you lied, though. Y'all know one of the biggest things in America that break friendships is pride. I knew I was wrong when I was with Deja and I would do shit and she would yell at me and shit like that. That shit actually made me sad as shit because I hate when mother yell at me because it's just trauma. I don't like being yelled at. But then every time I would combat Deja and say something, I always felt like.
I feel like this part right here, she's telling us. She's letting the world know, like, listen, I'm going through it and I don't know how to, how can I say, accept the help or deal with the situation. I'm just living day by day. Like nothing matters to me. She's screaming, all right, from the top of her lungs. She needs help, but she just doesn't know how to reach out or take it.
I was wrong for saying how I really feel. That's why a lot of people don't say how they really feel. They just say what they think people gonna like because they afraid. But like, I've been so traumatized that it's hard for me to care about shit that I know is wrong. Like, everybody need love. Everybody needs somebody in their corner. And I just didn't feel like I had that. Like, not from Deja, just from the fucking world. So if Deja ever see this, because I am blocked, I do apologize for messing your house, not messing your house up. I apologize for leaving stuff around because I have ADHD. So and I'm not trying to use this as an excuse, but it's very hard for me to focus on stuff. I could start one thing and then go to another thing because I have anxiety. So I'm sorry and I apologize if I ever, I don't know how to explain it. I just apologize and I'm sorry that whatever, I just apologize. I just apologize. I don't want to tear you down. I just genuinely apologize. And
it's like, listen, and she got voices in her head right now. Like she's conflicted. Like she don't know what to do. 1 minute she's cussing the shorty out. The next minute she's apologizing. Then the next minute she's cussing her out. The next minute she's apologizing.
Sometimes when I apologize, I sound angry because I let a lot of people do shit to me and I don't say nothing. But I just apologize for whatever was wrong. Then y'all want to know what really used to make me cry in school? When I used to watch motherfuckers that was disabled get on the sector bus and was laughing at motherfuckers like that. You know how to feel to be disabled? Do y'all know how it feel to be disabled, bro? Y'all don't understand this shit because y'all never been through this shit. Why would you... It's motherfuckers out here that can't walk, can't hear, motherfuckers that's blind. Y'all laugh at that shit? Are you... Excuse me? I don't give a fuck about nothing y'all talking about. I've been smart since I was a little ass girl and motherfuckers used to bully me for that shit. So I had to grow up thinking, oh, well, smart, being smart is lame. No, bitch, it's not lame. And I'm talking to the whole world that ever been against me. I always been smart. And I always been bold. If I feel some type of way, I'ma say, I don't give a what y'all talking about. Fuck. I'ma say this last, right? Make better choices. If I wasn't usable, if I wasn't valuable, nobody would never want to use me. Do y'all know how much shit I really know? I'm smart as shit. I'm gonna tell y'all the two things I'll be paying attention to: my vocabulary and my motherfucking Bible. Excuse my language, God. I promise I didn't mean to say that.
I can't. Yeah, when people say that,
I knew this shit from a
yo,
little ass girl. Bitches used to bully me in school and wanted to fight me in school because I was smart. I always been smart. Motherfuckers used to bully me for that shit. Now I grew up, I got ADHD. The doctors say I got schizophrenia, anxiety, depression, all that bullshit. Yeah, because the shit that I went through as a mother child, I always knew I did.
I mean, listen, she has one of these. Not sure which one. She could have all of the above. All right. Could it be true? I don't know. I'm not in her life. But the symptoms are clear. The red flags are there. At least if it's true, she's admitting to it. And what I'm saying, if it's true, is if she got the diagnosis. I'm not sure. She probably did. She could have probably been in counseling when she was younger and decided to take herself off. All right. And that's why she's this, act that she needs. For autism, there's no medication. But for schizophrenia, there's medication. And I feel as though that, how can I say it? People with schizophrenia need to be on that medication. All right. There's nothing you could do with a child that has autism or a child that has transitioned from a kid to an adult. All right. Right. When it comes to autism, you can't give them medication for that. But schizophrenia, that's something that can get really treated. I thought she couldn't focus, but she can study. That's what I'm saying. Like, she could have schizophrenia. I said it earlier before. Listen, I missed this. I don't even think I got this far into the video. But listen. It is not my first time reviewing and reacting to her, all right? And it's not my first time coming out here, right, having conversations. There's people that know the Shorty in real life, all right? So they say that she's actually like this in real life. Like, she's not playing a character on the screen. But it's crazy is, right, the person that she is, the personalities that she has, is a good money grab on some real shit. People tune into the drama that she gives, right, and the drama that she brings to herself, right? Because what's happening in her life is drama chaos that she's bringing upon herself. She's making it. I've seen people, right, on videos trying to help her, and she just straight down bashes and drags them, burns her bridges. That's what she's doing, burning her bridges. All right. Facts. And what's crazy is that, people's pain is other people's entertainment. People's trauma is other people's entertainment. I never understood that. But that's crazy.
Didn't like people. That's why I love people now, because I can understand motherfuckers where they coming from. Y'all laugh at people like us. I don't, because I always, bro, y'all bitches retarded.
I can't. What does that say? I'm guessing this is Meatball. I'm not sure who's this. Nisa the Goat, Heart of North Philly. This is Nisa. She said, I was never against her. Everybody else control you. But when I do it, it was such a problem. I don't want to be back cool with you. I want you to take accountability and say you was wrong. You hurt me. I look at you like, OMG, this Meatball, I love her since a little girl. Then I met you and everything changed when I saw you on live telling all my business. My heart broke. That's why I don't trust people. My trust has been broken so many times. But when you did it, I was like, oh, no, I'm cool. Listen. Listen. Unless she's willing to help Dr. Umar her mother, anybody that decides to jump into the situation, all right, is not going to be able to help her. She has to want it, all right. And for the longest, it seems like she, how can I say, didn't want to take the help, and it doesn't seem like she wants any help. She's not asking for any either. Bro, so listen, give me 1 minute, all right, because we're gonna jump into this. This is gonna jump right into the topic of parenting, all right. In Philadelphia, you see this a lot, all right. And what's crazy is, right, you got a lot of good families out here. You got a lot of parents that are in their kids' lives, right? You got a lot of parents, right? Whether they co-parent, that their kids turn out to be okay. Then you got other parents that co-parent and their kids turn out to be a menace to society. So either way, right, like I said earlier, everything is like a yin and yang, right? Because you do got parents that co-parent, right? They coexist and they don't argue, they don't fight. But sometimes the kids, once again, then it's a menace to society. But then you got those that co-parent and the kids turn out to be nothing wrong with them, right? You got the single moms, right, that raise their kids. There's some that raise their kids that turn out to be good, some that turn out not to be good. Single moms, single dads, the same shit. All right. Listen, that's why I keep saying shout out to the answer for having, the live that he had yesterday. I wish, we could have kept going and building onto that, in that live, right? But that's why I say yesterday, right? Like when it comes to us parents in the era that we're in, people forget that we're supposed to rear our kids, not control and manipulate our kids. And what I mean control and manipulate our kids is, right, we're not supposed to control their lives, manipulate their lives, all right? We're supposed to teach them, guide them, nurture them, all right, until they reach a certain age and they're able to do the things that they're supposed to do. But a lot of parents, all right, use their kids, exploit their kids, abuse their kids. That's not parenting, all right? That's unhealed trauma disguised as motherhood, fatherhood. And only you can heal yourself. Well, shit, give me 1 second. Sometimes I look around. And that's some real shit, yo. That's how we be here in Philly, right? A lot of people, man, they struggle, they fight, all right, just to keep their sanity. Listen, I don't know if y'all remember, what was that movie called? Yeah, okay, I think y'all can hear me. Hold on 1 second. What was it? Tales from the Hood? Was it Tales from the Hood? Give me 1 second, guys.
Watch your lucky jersey?
I haven't watched it.
I think it is Tales from the Hood. All right. With a little boy Walter. Give me 1 second. No. It took me out the damn videos. All right. I don't know if y'all remember a movie called Tales from the Hood, right? And I think it's the last story that they tell, right, in the movie, where the little boy, right, he I think it's called Monster, if I'm not mistaken, where the little boy draws a picture of his abusive stepfather, right, and he has to crumble it, right, in order to kill him. Well, there's this podcast, Axiom Amnesia 2.0, right, and they said, right, they did a live saying, we never understood Walter's monster until now, right? Me as a kid, right, I can't sit here, right, and say, thank you, I appreciate you, Thomas Wilson. I can't sit here and say that I didn't understand it. I understood it. Like, I understood what was going on in the movie, right? And what's crazy is, right, I took it the metaphor way, because I understood why the little kid was, seeing the stepfather as a monster, right? I had so many thoughts when I first seen it. I was like, was he beating him? Was he, sexually assaulting him? What was going on? Because see, a lot of people think, right, that only little girls get sexually assaulted, only women get sexually assaulted, forgetting that little boys get sexually assaulted too. Grown ass men too. You got women out here roofing them and taking advantage of them, trying to take their money and shit like that, right? And you know, listen, there's so many ways that these people do what they do. But facts. Hold on one second. Let me put it here. There's so many ways I could put that, right? But I like the way they break this down. The reason why I'm showing y'all this video, right? And it's because I was watching this last night after I got off the panel and answered, right? And this popped up right here. Why it popped up on my timeline, I don't know. All right. Like, I like the video and I subscribed and everything to see, you know, what other future lives they come up with. But I want to do a review and reaction. This is not, you know, this is not my channel. All right. I do have to pause this a lot. So give me 1 second while I put my little disclaimer. It may help, it might not help, for sure. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission from the copyright holder for purposes such as criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarships and teaching. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this video or any video, including the Writers for Life Brings You to Let's Talk About It podcast, do not reflects on the opinions of y'all Shorty, Racheal, and the members of the Writer for Life podcast. Everything we talk about is allegedly and is our opinion. Our videos are not recommended for minors. Everything we talk about and do is meant for educational purposes and also entertainment. Please keep in mind that the majority of our videos are for educational purposes only. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch, thinking that they own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one. That's some real shit right there. Ooh, Jack Daniels by itself is strong. Lord have mercy. I'm going to take it slow. Because speaking on these topics, I get very passionate. People going to think, oh, why are you so mad? I ain't mad. I'm just passionate. All right. I've been through counseling. I've been through therapy. All right. Listen, I've spoken up for bullying. All right. I'm one of these parents that got petitions flowing around to get cameras in these schools. And guess what? 5 years ago, I was told I couldn't get this done. 5 years later, guess what? A Shorty, along with a lot of other parents, were getting cameras in these schools. All right. Not just in the hallways, not just in, not just in the principal's office, not in the main office, not outside. I'm talking about in every one of these classrooms. All right. Well, it's not possible. You know, the teacher, the kids, they need privacy. What fucking privacy do they need? What privacy? Have these teachers proven to us that they need some type of privacy with our kids? Get the fuck out of our faces. But back on topic. We'll talk about that on another live, yo. For real. Let me see what Tommy's got to say. Oh shit! He said, "I think it's his day. Like you always call me Wilson. It's Williams. I know, my bad. I'm so sorry, man. I apologize for that, man. Listen, I had Jack in a mango peach smoothie. All right, I was sipping on this right here, this mango peach smoothie. Like I've been live an hour 50 minutes. All right, almost 2 hours. All right, I just got it done and put in a shot and a half in here, all right, to clean the cup up and mix the Jack up with the rest of the fruit and stuff, man. And that shit's still strong. And you don't drink liquor off a straw. I feel as though like that's some rich people type shit, but fuck it. But anyways, back on topic. Why am I bringing up this movie, right? Listen, when I was a little kid, right, I'm not going to sit here and lie, all right? I think that the scariest part of, I think this is Tales from the Hood, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. Is it Tales? Yeah. It is Tales from the Hood. the scariest part of the movie was right. I think the episode where the cops end up unaliving the bull, right? And he comes back to life like on some zombie shit, killing them back, like on some on some revenge shit, trying to kill them. But this right here, this movie, right? I had a lot of people telling me that I was tripping, right? Oh, he wasn't getting abused. That's not true. My thing is, yes, it was. Like he saw. Listen, I don't know if a lot of people, if you've been following me, right, you'll know that I usually, how can I say, consider, predators, right, like the monsters that they talk about in the movies, right? Any type of predator, whether it's an abuser, one that abuses mentally, physically, sexually, I don't care. All right. A bully is a bully. All right. And they all fall under that umbrella. But me personally, right, my abuser, I named him Freddie. All right. Now this little boy, his abuser, he just saw him like, that damn monster that they show in the movie. And I don't think I have my song on here, right? Nope, but I'll play it after this drawing is done. But I feel as though that a lot of us, right, a lot of us that have been through some type of trauma, all right, have seen our abuser like some type of monster. But when you're kids, your imagination, all right, is strong. All right, I'm gonna use me as an example. All right, and I'm glad that I've healed from my trauma, because if I wouldn't have healed from my trauma, what I felt, what I was dealing with, I would have passed it on down to my kids without them having gone through what I went through. All right, I have a very dark past. But my abuser, right, without even knowing it, I used to call him Freddy Krueger. And I used to watch the movie, but not once that I understood or like it went over my head, right? And I didn't know that, he was, how can I say, a child molester, right? A kid abuser, until they did the remake of the movie. And I was already a grown ass adult. I never even paid it attention. Like, and it's one of my childhood, favorite movies. It's one of them. I like all the Nightmares from Elm Street. But I never even realized that that's what he did. You see where I'm coming from? Right? And the whole time, I always called my abuser Freddy Krueger. And people was like, why you call him that? Because that's how I see him. There was times where I would see him like fucking Freddy. You see where I'm coming from? He was my real life nightmare. And not like in the movie, in real life. I had a real life Freddy Krueger in my own home. See where I'm coming from? Like, so as a kid, your imagination is strong. Right. So we're gonna go through this. All right. I'm hoping that I don't get the, because that's why I did that little disclaimer, man. I don't know. I gotta look for the right disclaimer to put it down below. All right, for when it comes to movies, but they don't really play the movie. But let's hear what they gotta say. All right. The reason why I'm bringing this up, right? A lot of people that y'all see here on social media, outside on these streets, right? These parents that neglect their kids or treat their kids the way they was treated at one point, and they don't know how to break the cycle. All they're doing is passing down unhealed trauma to their kids. And now you got these kids right out here being a dentist to, how can I say, a menace to society. I was about to call them Dennis the Menace. Shit, but no. All right, let's get out of third grade, Ray, and let's up it a notch. All right, these motherfuckers are becoming a menace to society.
And Walter's stepdaddy had a monster tattoo, but that doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of the full story.
What was really happening in that room when the monster closed the door?
We're about to do a full movie breakdown of the 1995 film Tales from the Hood like you've never seen before, focusing on tale number 2, Boys Do Get Bruised.
It was number 2. Shit, I said the last one. See, it's been a minute since I watched Tales from, and I watched this joint. You know what, Jack? What are you doing to my brain cells? Leave them alone, right? I want to enjoy you and enjoy this live. Can we do that? Can we coexist in the same live? All right, bet.
Young boy is tormented by a monster that lives in his own home.
Man, what type of what the happening here?
We are introduced by Mr. Sims to tale number 2 as he's walking the 3 guys through, and he says,
it's a classic case of what is and isn't real.
This tale is about what's real in the mind of a boy named Walter.
Perception, reality,
perception versus reality. And we'd had this long conversation about his statement of the cornucopia of divergent ideas. Remember that we talked about in the first breakdown that we did. So we won't go into that now, but if you missed it, that is a must listen to video. Now we're told that we're going to be introduced to this little boy. Let's see what Walter has going on.
Fuck that. Walter was going through hell. I remember as a little kid, all right, being in my room, trying to lock the door. And every time I heard my stepfather walking by, I heard Freddy Krueger's nails scraping through the damn walls. All right. You see where I'm coming from? As crazy as it sounds, yes, man. Every time he would walk by, and I know his footsteps, all right. At the same time, my head was playing, tricks on me. My imagination was portraying him and seeing him as an actual real life Freddy Krueger, claws and all.
Walter wakes up and he has a flashlight and he sees pictures of what looks like a monster all over the wall, but each body part is on a different page and they're actually hung up on the wall of his room. And then we hear this strange music and it's growling and stuff. And then the doorknob starts to turn, right? So it's like a typical horror movie.
Where you're wondering what's going to happen next.
Yeah. And I always thought that this should be the first story, just the way that Tale 2 opened.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it would have set it up nicely for like, okay, we're going to get these.
I want to skip what he's saying, right? So that we can get right to the meat and potatoes, but I can't do that because he might say something that we might need to hear. All right. But I love the way they broke this movie down. All right. Because it's like, how can I say it? It is a perfect example, right, of what happens when you don't heal from your past trauma.
Typical type of horror stories, with a monster and, this monster on the other side of the door or this barrier.
Yeah, I do wonder it makes sense as to why Tale 4 was number 4, but the first 3 tales really could have come, almost in any order. And why didn't they put this tale first? Because it is traditional. And you hear the sounds and it reminds us of all of when we were kids. I know I was afraid of the dark. And so you're here in the dark. First thing he does is he turns on his flashlight and you're hearing these sounds and the door is turning, but nothing actually happens. And isn't that like when you're a kid, nothing really actually happened to any of us as far as like an actual monster. But next thing we hear, a school bell and he's in school. We find out that Walter is new to his school today. It's his first day of school.
And that's what's crazy, right? They don't show what happens, but was he getting sexually abused or was he just abusing him? Was he just coming and beating him for no reason? But it's like we could all, figure it out, right? The middle of the night, him turning the doorknob, that's not even his child. Like, come on, man. He's all bruised up the next day. We all knew, well, me, I already imagined it because I was already living it. And it was like, to me, it was wild that, around this time I was watching a movie that, where, some other kid was experiencing what I was going through. Then it was a boy at that. And then I didn't understand it, right? The boys getting sexually assaulted, right? Until I was going to therapy myself when one day I tried to, take my life, right? And I ended up in a, in a mental home. They put me in one. They put me in a little straitjacket because I listen, by any means necessary, I didn't want to be here. I couldn't take it no more. You see what I gave up so many times that, even though people break it down and they explain it to me, they'd be like, there's a reason you're here. There's a purpose. You see where I'm coming from in your life. But it's like, I did things to try to, eliminate myself from this world. And I'm still standing here. It makes no sense while others have done what I've done. And on the first try, they're not here. Right. So it's something that no matter how much you break it down, right, I can never seem to understand. It's like why some of us survive, right, and make it through, but others don't. Why is it that some of us are strong enough to handle this weight, but others can't? Because there's things in this world that are meant to break you. And some of us, it makes us for some reason. All right. My past almost broke me, but I'm not going to sit here and lie. It made me. It made me the woman that I am today, and I'm not ashamed of it.
And he's introduced to the class, the traditional, hey, Walter, after the teacher's like, say hello to Walter kind of thing.
I want you all to say hello to Walter.
And I want to just say that also in this movie is Brandon Hammond, the little boy. And we have seen him in so many movies, Soul Food, Menace to Society as young Kane, just a ton of movies that he was in at this point. And also a treat, the teacher here is Rusty Kundieff, and he is the director and writer of Tales from the Hood. So he did put himself as an actor in one of the tales.
Yeah, and he said for better or worse. But so you notice in this scene, they have those stick figures that's hanging up all around the classroom when he walks in. And for another Jordan Peele reference, it reminds me of Jordan Peele film Us and Hands Across America.
Listen, hold up. Let me go back a little bit. I remember when the classrooms used to be like that.
Peele reference.
Classrooms don't look like this no more. When I used to go to school, classrooms used to look like this. Now they don't. It's just tables and I guess a little piece of white. What's that thing, that holograph little board thingy and a chalkboard and a couple, alphabetical shit on the rooms. But I remember when the schools used to look like that. Schools have changed so much.
It reminds me of Jordan Peele film Us and Hands Across America, and there's a scene where they're in the classroom with a blackboard. Well, I think they're on the underground, right?
Yeah.
And they show, a whole bunch of stick figures kind of holding hands and stuff in all these different places.
I'm convinced after watching this that, this was like sort of an part inspiration for Jordan Peele. So as usual, you're the new kid in school. There's always going to be some bully. And before we know it, Walter is in a fight and the teacher has to break up this fight.
Yeah, we don't like not a Hey, ho.
Yeah, Walter just got beat up. One kid pushed him, and I think the other one beat him up.
And it's crazy. We've talked about this before, right? And this is what a lot of kids go through, right? Like sometimes I feel bad for the bullies, right? For the little bullies, right? I feel as though, right, there should be some type of program out here for them, but there isn't. Like they've taken away all these programs they had for our young men, for our young boys, all right? And have left them with nothing. They turn to these corners, right? And I mean, this was back then. It wasn't like this back then. But it's just showing how the unhealed trauma from back then, right, has passed on to our kids. I'm not going to say we. A lot of people, right, haven't figured out how to heal. And what they've been through, they're passing it on to their kids. They think they're not, but they really are. Right? Because the bully that is bullying someone, right, is going through something at home. And this right here shows you something, right? Walter, right, which is the main character of this movie, is going through something at home. He's being bullied by his stepfather. He comes home, all right? I mean, he comes to school, and then in school, he's getting bullied by other classmates, right? And in a lot of situations, right, kids take their lives when they go through this. Other kids are able to manage and pull through, shake it off, right? And either learn from it or not. You see where I'm coming from? The ones that, are able to, still push through and not learn from it, still pass on that unhealed trauma, as crazy as it sounds, right? And we're not a therapist, right? I've just been in therapy so long. You see where I'm coming from? Like, I'm glad. It's been a few years that I haven't had to be in therapy, but yes, my whole life I was in therapy due to what I went through, all right? PTSD, bipolar, everything. I ended up getting all of that, depression, all right? And I think what was it they diagnosed me with? PTSD, bipolar depression, all right, and real bad anxiety, really bad. Because I used to listen. I still do sometimes, all right. Sometimes like I get throwbacks. Like sometimes the memories just flash by and I get panic attacks, right? And I chew the shit out of my nails. I still suffer from anxiety, all right. I just try to find things that, how can I say, soothe me? Music, cooking. All right, I sit down, I smoke my Mary Jane, so I relax and try to focus and dive myself into things that, writing poetry is another thing, and that's something that I've been doing as a kid, right? Like, and if y'all been following for a minute, man, I just started re-uploading all my old poetry, which is gonna, y'all gonna start hearing the new poetry soon, all right? And the old poetry is gonna go to the memberships. But I'm starting to upload that, and it's something that I've done, forever. Pen and paper is my best friends. My way of healing is by writing. Not just what I go through, right? But the stuff that people, lay on my shoulders. The things I see out here, right? Like, my poetry is meant, to give motivation, show solutions, all right? Show people that no matter what obstacles get thrown our way, all right, we could overcome it. But a lot of people don't think like that, right? And shout out to the ones that, share my poetry, all right? Appreciate what I am putting out there, all right? And I appreciate y'all too, because a lot of y'all are the reason why I'm able to write as much poetry as I do. But there are so many ways that we can heal, all right? There are so many reasons why people go through trauma. Listen, we don't all go through the same stuff. Some of us may have similar, past traumas, but we don't go through the same shit. And none of us heal, all right? None of us heal the same way. We could be like-minded, but we don't think the same. But let's get back to this, all right? While we're showing this, all right, because this shows, right, that a lot of these kids out here, all right, go through things at home and outside of their home, right? And it turns them into the monsters that they are, right? Believe it or not, when I was young, right, I always asked, right, did the stepdad do what he was doing to Walter because he was going through something similar? And when he got older, right, it's like, oh, now I'm the captain. Now I'm the boss. Now I'm in control. You see where I'm coming from? And now this family has to learn how to, how can I say, fight back and wear their own battle crown. Hey, maybe I'm tripping.
Right.
I'm Height.
And I'm Cherie.
And you've discovered Axiom Amnesia.
You want your chap all of the benefit season jives like 2 for $70. This will give you a discount credit on screen February 1st, 2026. So if you're watching it a different 2 for because of the uniforms that are being worn. I know a lot of public schools wear uniforms, but they have the plaid and everything mixed in their uniform. So I feel like he's actually at a private school, which says something about the socioeconomics, right, of his family that, apparently they can at least afford to pay for a private school. And this is important because Rusty was talking about this in his director's commentary and how, he didn't want to take the route of, oh, you are a poor family and this is going on with what we're about to see. But he wanted to have like a solidly middle class family and show that the things going on in their home could happen to anybody.
Hey, honey, hold this up to your head.
Walter got beat up so bad he had to go see the nurse, it appears. It shouldn't be funny, but something is wrong with him. He got a whole, I guess it's ice on his head or something. Like he got beat really bad. But they discover some other bruises on Walter. And they're like, Tyrone didn't do this to him. These look pretty old.
I am worried about that, though. That didn't just happen. It's a couple of days old.
The school nurse is making some observations, and you know how it is in the schools. They're looking for bruises and things like that on the children to know if something's happening in their home. So again, the teacher.
That's a fact. And listen, and it's a little off topic, right? I don't know if a lot of you parents know this, right? But listen, when you give birth to your child, right? You sign the paperwork, right? You get this birth certificate. It says that you're the parent of your child. But unless you go to the court and claim your kids, right? Both mother and father, you don't have real custody of your kids. The state do, right? So I just wanted to put that out there. And if listen, don't go by what I'm just saying. I want y'all to go do your own research. So if you think that you have custody of your child, right, and you haven't gone to the court to claim your child, you don't own your child, right? The state does. And what do schools belong to? The state. So for a parent that thinks, oh, well, they can't do this. This is my child. I gave birth to my child. But if you don't go claim your child, guess what? The state has every say so to come and take your child. They think that you're being neglectful to your child. It's the fucked up part about it. So if you don't know about this, I suggest, go do your research and please go, claim your child. mother, father, all right? Just because you signed the paperwork at the hospital doesn't mean, all right, that you have full custody of your child.
And the nurse are trying to get word out of Walter as to who's put these bruises on his body. They ask about his mother. He said, no, it's not her. Ask about, did his father do this to him? And he says he's dead.
Your father, did he do this?
He's dead.
And so, you know, they continue to try to get him to confess, but he is not trying to say anything.
Walter, if you tell me and Nurse Parchment, it'll just be our little secret, okay?
And even the teacher is like, this could be our little secret, you know, to still compel him, but he's not hearing it. Finally, Walter tells him that basically it's the monster doing these things.
The monster. It came after my dad died.
And the teacher's like, the monster, you know. But Walter is dead serious. It's the monster doing these things. This is how.
Listen, and it's a shame, right? And I have to pause this, guys. Once again, this is not my content. So yes, in order for me to review and react, I got to pause. I appreciate those that have patience, all right? But once again, all right, this is another thing that a lot of kids go through, right? When they sit here and they tell somebody, when they think they could tell somebody about what's going on within the house, the home, but because of the way they frame things, all right, they're not believed. Because he told his teacher it was a monster, the teacher looked at him like, what? Like, he could have said, you know, is there anybody else in the house? He could have said yes. You see, and when he said the monster, he could have been like, okay, there's someone else in the house that he considers the monster. But I don't think people think like that, right? Like, they don't take the time to analyze what's coming out of kids' mouths because, you know, according to people, kids don't ever tell the truth. They don't know what they're talking about, and they always making up shit. People's favorite words. Like they wasn't kids at one point. How did you feel when you was telling the truth about something and you was told that you don't know what the fuck you talking about?
How he sees it from his child's point of view. And I don't think the teacher is getting it.
If you decide you want to tell me what really happened, I'm going to be here to listen, okay?
Walter tells them that the monster did it. Nobody believes him. And he said it came after my dad died. Right. So it kind of sounds like something that a child would make up, you know, after an event like separation from father or, you know, after a death.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what kind of, you know, they're not actual child psychologists, but like what kind of teacher of these young children wouldn't recognize that the kid is trying to communicate something? And he's like, well, when you decide to tell the truth, then let
And it shows no difference. I mean, and listen, shout out to the teachers out there. I mean, what's crazy is the teachers that do recognize this stuff, right? Nobody wants to talk about them, right? There's a lot of teachers that peep the red flags, right? And they go out their way just to help the child. But there are a lot of teachers out here that don't understand what the child is saying. The child is speaking in a way where, like, maybe if I speak like this, right, I won't get in trouble. They'll understand. As a kid, listen, I know exactly, because when I first started speaking up, I didn't know how to speak up. I didn't know, you know, damn, would they believe me? And my own mom, right, doesn't believe me. How can I get someone else to, you know, how can I get someone else to understand what I'm trying to say? So it's like we start saying all this stuff, and, you know, how can I say it? We start inventing words. We start rephrasing words, right, making up words. We're saying things like he's saying, all right? Just to get out what we want to say, but we don't know how to because we don't know who is really going to be there for us. Who's going to really believe us, right? And there's people that is in your corner, right? Like, for example, right, when I was growing up, I had people in my corner, but it was hard for me to trust them. Because if the first person that is meant to be in your life, right, that gave birth to you, is supposed to, you know, nurture and protect you, calls you a liar after they tell you, you know, it, you know, if you go through anything like this, come to me, talk to me. No one is ever supposed to touch you down there. If anybody makes you feel uncomfortable, tell me. But when you say something, it's like, wait, what's going on? Why are you defending the person that I'm saying is doing this to me? Right? And I've had, you know, I've had friends growing up that lived in abusive homes where the mother and the father was always arguing, and, you know, one of them was always beating on them. And it's crazy, right? DHS doesn't come to these type of homes. They come to the homes, you know, where families are trying to get their shit together and are trying to do the right shit. They could be late on the rent. You go not late on the rent. Yeah, the rent sometimes, right? A month or two, and they get back on their feet. Or they could be late on bills just to be on time with the rent. and get food on the table. All right, like listen, parents go through a lot of stuff. Like, but shit.
Let me know.
Yeah,
You know.
but the thing is that we're watching a horror film. So we know it's a monster because we just seen what happened at the door, right? We know it's a horror film. So we know the audience knows that it's really a monster at this point.
Yes, but I like to believe that even if I was a teacher and knew nothing about what his experiences home were, if this kid is saying monster or something, then my next thought is going to be, oh, okay, is he calling a person a monster? What is
Right.
he, you know, what is this monster? Or is he making something up? And if he is this an indicator of some other type of trauma or
Well,
something he's got going on in his life that maybe he needs to talk to somebody about?
because the bruises, they assume that it's his mama because the daddy is gone. That's what
Yeah.
I think is happening. They just want him to confirm, tell us it's your mama who's beating you.
So that we can call
Yeah, but
the
it's not
police
the
on her and
mom.
the people, and then you can.
But if it's not the mom, all right, y'all should be like, damn, okay, it's not the mom, it's not the dad. Let me ask them, is there anybody else in the house that wasn't there before dad? You see what I'm saying? But no.
You know, get put in an institution.
But let's go a little let's fast forward a little bit, all right? Let's get to, where he explains to him about the monster.
Which points to something that I think people are all arm, and he winds up at in the nurse's office again.
Walter.
At first, I was like, maybe the monster didn't actually come in and do anything to him, but clearly that's not the case because he's now got more bruises than he had before, and they have to wrap his arm up in the nurse's office.
You be sure to put this back just like
It kind of shows another scene with the monster violating him. I think it's a different type of abuse because you don't hear like the whips and hits. You don't hear ow, ow, ow.
And I said that. Listen, as a child that went through that, I understood this scene. This scene broke my heart when I was young watching this, all right? I think the first time I seen this movie was in 98 or 99. And this movie came out in 95, but I was just too little when it, to watch it when it first came out. But when I first saw it, it was 98 or 99. And when I first saw it, it brought back memories that I didn't even knew existed in my head on some real shit. And what's crazy is, right, I called somebody that I could trust. I always go to this person, right? Like, damn, am I tripping? Like, damn, like, am I having a nightmare? What in the world is going on? And what's crazy is, right, people, places, and things trigger, all right, what you went through in your past, right? And seeing certain things in that show, in that one part of the episode, right, it took me back to what I was going through. And even though they didn't show the scenes, what I was watching, what I was listening to, right, I caught the grip of it because it's what I was living. All right, I'm even writing a book on this shit. Like, this is like, listen, not everybody has been through the same trauma. All right, that I am. I'm a surviving warrior. All right, I went through some, I went through sexual abuse. Other people go through physical abuse. All right, there's people that go through both. All right, they get beat and they get sexually abused. All right, there's some that just get molested. Some that get mentally abused, and all three of them is not good. All four of them, because listen, we can keep going down the line. All right. And if you don't heal from this, all right, like I was saying earlier, you're going to pass it down to your kids, and your kids is going to pass it down to your grandkids. And we're going to have all types of issues out here. Listen, you can try to get rid of the crime all you want, right? But if we don't find a way to heal mental health, the crimes are going to still skyrocket. All right? Like, listen, it isn't just because people are broke out here that you see crime being committed. It's not because people, have nowhere to be that crimes are being committed, right? A lot of people out here commit different types of crimes due to whatever mental health situation they're going through. And the majority of the time, right, a lot of people, right, that end up being bullies have been through some type of abuse, right, in their past. And that's what this movie shows, right? Let me go a little forward. Let me see. Because this is where the teacher makes a mistake, right? The teacher should have handled this a little different. All right.
This boy.
I feel as though that this teacher didn't even know how to read the room. But hey, he's not trained to read the room. Right. And I have a question. That back in the day, the teachers make house calls? Because I don't remember teachers making house calls. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Hey, but in this movie they put it. Shit, it's a movie, right?
Hey, friend, at least.
I think he's thinking the boy is definitely lying about the monster thing. And so he's more like, well, you know, your kid's got problems because he's talking about a monster. And
he should have realized that the monster was one of these people. At this point, he's drawing a picture of a monster. He's saying the monster is putting these bruises on him. Teacher
lives with him. Hello, teacher. You know.
And he showed up after his dad died.
Yep.
All the clues are there.
Yep. Please note that in this Tales from the Hood series, we've decided to create a separate video for each of the tales so that we can fully examine what happens with each character without time constraints. Be sure to check out our breakdowns of the other tales and wraparound story linked in the description below.
And this is their channel. All right, if y'all want to go check them out, Axiom, Amnesia, right? And I guess they did a collaboration with 3 other people.
The teacher says he thinks, speaking of Walter, he thinks he needs to kill the monster.
He thinks he needs to kill the monster.
After everything the teacher saw and observed, that's what he told this man who came in basically throwing the hammer down.
He really believes it.
And I feel as though the mom knows. Listen. When I was young, I was like, damn. But she was getting her ass whooped too. All right? She was getting her ass whooped.
Yeah, and now he's just probably going to skip his happy behind on out. Well, my work here is done.
Oh, no. You say it's no monster? Goodbye.
No, man. What got me is he ain't noticed how nervous the mom was. Like, I noticed that shit. Right, but until I got a little older, right? Listen, at the end of the part, right, it shows you he whoops her ass, right? But I always think like, damn, why didn't I catch that in the beginning? And as I got older, it's because I just thought that it's like, damn, either she's covering for him. Like, I really thought the mom was, you know, a bad person. But no, man, he was beating her fucking ass too. She was scared of him. He's really a fucking monster. No wonder the kids saw him like that.
The most insane kind of situation. And he should have. I just keep going back. You should be able to read the room. But how about David Allen Greer's face when he's like, he thinks he needs to kill the monster, and he's like, "Oh, really?" And the mama is like, "Oh, it done hit the fan now." And
I didn't see it like that.
It's palpable because you just know that it's about to be some mess as soon as this teacher leaves this house.
That's a testament to David Allen Greer's acting chops, because you see it on his face this entire time. But when he says certain things, it's like he doesn't need to speak the words because his face and his body language is telling everything we need to know about what this character is thinking.
And how did he get the picture of the monster that the little boy drew? How did he get that picture? Because I thought he kept that Walter had kept the picture. So how does he pull out this picture from his satchel to give to David Allen Greer to be like, yeah, here's a picture of the monster too, just to show I'm not lying, you know? Yeah.
I think Walter drew multiple pictures because in the beginning we seen he had pictures of the monster already on the wall. He was drawing pictures in the classroom. Well, he drew one of Tyrone and one of the monster. So maybe he had more than one, or the teacher just took the one that he drew in class. But with the one with Tyrone, when this tale starts, it's just like a traditional horror, right? We got this monster and everything. And then we see another scene. Oh, a monster again. But then when Walter balls up that paper and Tyrone basically takes his fall, we kind of go into I don't know if it's the realm of exactly sci-fi sort of a horror. What do you call that?
I guess I'd call it like a
Because
sci-fi horror kind of thing.
yeah, because it's not typically just a monster slasher sort of thing at that point.
No, see what I want people to understand is y'all got to think back to your childhood. I mean, I don't know. See, this is why I compare real life to Welcome to Derry sometimes, right? As time goes by, right? When you move out or what the place that you're in and you move to another place, or you tend to forget the things you did as a child. You see where I'm coming from? But when you stay in the same area, it's kind of hard to forget. Right? And I feel as though that's what happens, right? A lot of people forget what they went through as a child, what they lived as a child, right? Man, kids have imaginations. So he's not really a monster, but the way he pictures his stepdad is like the monster. All right. It's the same way that I pictured my mom's husband, right, as Freddy Krueger.
Now we know there's this other connection, and now we have this
like you have this supernatural sort of element.
Supernatural. That's what I was thinking of. And now we have this other paper. So we know something has to be done with this paper for this monster, because we've already seen what happened with Tyrone when he crumbled up the paper. And Greer.
Yeah, we're going to go up a little bit more. And listen, this motherfucker right here, man. Like he has some fucking healing to do in his life. Like this motherfucker right here deserves to be 7 feet underground. And what's crazy, right? There are men out here that are like that. They sexually assault their stepkids, even fathers. All right, they sexually assault their biological kids. All right, there's some of them that end up in relationships, ancestral relationships. Man, you got mothers and you got fathers doing this shit with their kids. All right, it's fucked up as it is. This happens in real life. All right. And I know y'all don't want to hear it, but this is the reality of some people. This is what they go through behind closed doors.
And he say, you like to draw fucked up pictures of people, huh?
You like to draw fucked up pictures of people, huh?
Holding the picture of the monster.
And I felt like that was just again another insertion of the comic relief, but for the tragedy that is about to take place. But I felt kind of like, man, that's bad. But you know what else too? What about the shadow on the wall? Because the shadow is not David Alan Grier's shadow. It's like some type of grotesque looking monster.
No, it's a shadow of a monster.
The shadow is what the kid. Listen, right now they're not showing Alan Greer, right? But the shadow that they're showing us is how the kid. That's why they have the scene like that, and they don't show him, right? Because in his eyes, right, he sees what we're seeing the shadow to be.
So that's who he is.
Yep. The monster grabs little Walter, and then his mom tries to intervene. And
see how the shadow went back? He was whooping that little boy's ass. All right. Then he turned around, and that's when I was like, damn, the mama getting it too. All right. I was like 9 years old when I saw this movie for the first time. I was 9. And this out of all the scenes in this movie, this the one episode, right, that I understood. And that's because I was able to relate to it. All right. And not a lot of people can. And now, if y'all notice here, when they show the shadows, right? Let me see if I can get to where the shadow is at.
It's not David Alan Grier's shadow. It's like some type of grotesque looking monster.
I want to try to pause it at the right time.
So that's who he is.
Yep. The monster grabs little Walter, and
see how the shadow goes back? See how when they start turning around and the boy's about to go and they're going to show David Alan Grier, right? The shadow starts turning human. Now, in the beginning of the movie, right, when they show the shadow, there's no hitting, there's no nothing, just a little boy screaming for help. You know what's happening in that room. Why he was turning that doorknob. All right? He didn't go in there to whoop his ass. He was whooping his ass when the child fought back. All right? That's why that child got his ass whooped, because he was fighting him back. And the mama ain't do shit because she would get her ass whooped. He's a predator. He was a pedophile.
And then his mom tries to intervene. And once she tries to
see how they wait. I was trying to get right there.
And he like gives her, I mean, he just knocks her straight in the face pretty much.
Let's see, they show the shadow.
And then after that proceeds to you know, use his belt on her brutally. Walter, grotesque looking monster thing.
Yeah, it's a shadow of a monster. So that's who he is.
They're not gonna show it.
The monster grabs little Walter, and then his mom tries to intervene.
Right there. See, in the beginning, they didn't show the shadow like that. On here, you can see him with the belt in his bare hands hitting her. Every time they show the window with the shadows. In the beginning, they show the shadow, then the shadow disappears. And then you hear the little boy screaming. Oh.
And once she tries to intervene, the monster's attention is turned away from Walter. And he like gives her, I mean, he just knocks her straight in the face with the tie on. Well, not.
We're gonna fast forward, right? And it's crazy because this teacher doesn't even know that he's the reason why. All right, these two almost died today. If he wouldn't have been outside, if he would have drove off, right, and not noticed the shadow and the screaming, the mom and the son, they wouldn't have been there. I think he would have killed them that night.
Not the suit coat, but you know, he's got his like work clothes on, you know, a tie and everything.
What does he do? I wonder what this monster does.
Probably something real respectable, because he's making money for them to, you know, be in a nice kind of nicer neighborhood with a nice house and, you know, be taken care of and everything. But they in here doing all this.
So Sissy grabs a cast iron skillet and she is about to hit Carl, but then she screams out and alerts him to the fact that she's about to hit him with this cast iron skillet.
I'm shooting too. Can't watch Medea.
It was gonna be what I love is it was gonna be the moment of triumph, but it doesn't actually get to happen, right? You know, like I love they give it to us and they snatch it away.
Yeah, so if this is going to be you, do not scream out, mother.
No, man. Listen, Medea ain't exist back then. Medea didn't teach them not to do it, all right?
You just gotta
come with it quiet.
Yeah, it's called telegraphing when you do that.
Because the other thing is, at this moment in the fight that's going on in this house, like Carl is single.
All right, now if y'all want to go watch this, man, go watch them. Like I said, Ixiom Amnesia 2.0. All right, I'm gonna put the URL in the chat if y'all can copy it. All right, and then y'all can paste the URL somewhere, and y'all can go directly to their channel. All right. Now, like I was saying, if people can't figure out how to heal from their trauma, all right, we gonna be creating monster after monster every time, all right, that a child is born. I don't just blame the kids, all right, I blame the
Protect your
parents.
pet and your wallet at
The kids are not just to blame. Hold on 1 second, I'm just trying to get rid of it already. Give me 1 second. Why are you laughing like that? Damn, come on.
That paper, Carl,
But he
turned
still
into a
smashed the other paper.
That shit crazy when he broke that paper and made that little boy get like, listen, he broke the little boy's arms and legs. If only we had that type of power, right? Real shit. Man, what happened? Why you took me out the why is the computer lagging right now? But what do y'all think about that? All right, what do y'all think about the unhealed trauma? Do y'all believe that, you know, that is the reason that we got, you know, adults on this job behaving like children, all right, bleeding on others, right, that never hurt them? Hold on 1 second. I gotta find my history. Where'd it go? It took me out the whole thing. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, all right. I feel as though, right, the way you raise your kids, listen, and like I was saying earlier, right, You could be the best parent in the world, but the influence outside in these streets, oh man. That's why, listen, I had to put this out here, right? Listen, I was somebody that decided to break the chains of society and be who I was truly meant to be, right? I didn't want to be like my mom. I didn't want to be like, my dad. I didn't want to be like the people that was around me. I wanted to do things different. You see what? But I still believe now that I'm older, I still believe that we need to, keep the little bit of old school, right? When it comes to disciplining and chastising our kids, while still, how can I say, still trying to understand them in this generation, because it is a different generation than our generation, right? And y'all got to realize, when we was younger, we wanted, our parents and the people, from their generation to understand the things that we were going through. But it just so happens, right, that in this generation, we got parents out here trying to be the kids' best friends, not realizing that when, it's not bad to be your kid's best friend, right? But not in the way that y'all think. You're not supposed to be out here smoking, chilling with your friend, with your kids, like if they're your friends. No, when like being a friend to your child means being a shoulder to them, all right? Being there, giving them advice. As a parent, right, you're supposed to, guide your child, nurture your child, protect your child, all right? Protect them, teach them, all right? Until they're able to do all those things by themselves, right? And you got a lot of parents out here that use their kids for exploitation, right? They abuse their kids for whatever the reason. Some moms out here have kids because they want to, they thought that was the way to keep the baby daddy, keep getting something from the baby daddy, and then figured out, oh wait, I can't do this like this, right? And then the child pays the consequences, right? So personally, right, I feel as though that what's going on with these kids out here is not just on the kids. It lands on the parents too, right? And it doesn't mean, oh, well, I was a perfect parent. Yeah, we all, a lot of us are good parents, right? A lot of us are not bad parents. But our kids, all right, how can I say, get influenced by the crowd that they're in. And it's not even sometimes the crowd. It could be family. It could be friends. All right, and you're thinking that they're here for you, but listen, I'm gonna get back on this. We're gonna do a part 2 later on tonight, all right? And we're gonna pick up on the parenting, all right? And we're gonna open the panel up. These was open panels, but I just hit 2 hours, 39 minutes, all right? Nobody's asked to. The link's been dropped. Nobody's asked to hop on the panel. So I'm gonna chill with my baby pops real quick before he go to work, and then we can go back live. All right, we go back at it. Shit, it's the holidays. I do not celebrate pagan holidays, so hey, shit, fuck it. Let's do it. So I'll be back in a little bit. We out. Hola.